Moving on, that led to a skirmish in this house. As part of that, Asher number 1 was killed by Asher number 2. The marshal had made off with a good portion of Ezra's blood. He got hit really fucking hard by both Harmony and Hyde, as I recall. And then one of the Drow followers then dimension doored him away, at which point that trail of blood that is still currently seeping off of Ezra began to move west.
Now, when you say Asher killed Asher, is Asher's old body now dead? Is that what you're saying?
This just happened, so as far as you guys know.
Okay.
As that happened, you did feel a kind of haunting presence in the room that seemed to almost suck the oxygen out. And you almost heard this chorus of a singular voice whispering through the room that began to scream out in pain as Ezra almost captured it and secured it in her soul bag. That being said, it did get away along with the marshal. So where we start, for the purposes of this, I'd like everyone to go ahead and roll initiative. Let's re-roll initiative.
As I roll this, Alex, did I get any type of minimal knowledge of how best to wield my gauntlet, either during my training or adventures?
You did not get any time to train or adventure.
Gotcha.
Because the Chaos crew in Ezra and Harmony immediately went to investigate a trap, and that sparked this whole series of events.
Oh.
So while you were doing that fat kid viral video Jedi lightsaber thing in your room alone, you got about 5 minutes of that in before they essentially cut in. So you're not anywhere closer to gaining a proficiency with that thing.
All right, fair enough.
What session is this?
I'd say it's session 39. That's what I listed the PowerPoint as. Are you streaming?
Yeah. You're not screen sharing anything, right?
I am now.
Okay.
Oh, cool pictures. All right, so what are we rolling?
Initiative, please.
Initiative. Okay, gotcha.
Okay. And where we are now, there are 2 of the Drow combatants left.
Now, do you want, is Virgil hurt in any way? Because right now my character screen is 100%.
If it says 100%, you'll be at 100% because either you didn't get hit or I forgot to mark it off in your character sheet.
Okay.
Should have been taking off spells, though. I feel like I'm better about that. I don't know. Whatever your character sheet says is fine.
Okay.
All right. 15 and above.
19.
15.
Okay. 15 and below.
7 for me.
I'm gonna 5.
All right, I'm taking Eddie off timeout. All right, Eddie, you can unmute now.
I didn't know I was muted.
Yeah, I muted you when you said that thing that offended me. I forgot what it was.
Oh, okay, cool.
What?
8.
8.
Yes. Captain Speed over here.
Fira?
I got 5.
5.
Ooh.
Spread out evenly. That's good.
So, as we start, Asher, this first combat scenario is going to be kind of theater of mind because there's 2 of them left. So I'm not building a map for this. You are on an elevated position, and there are 2 drow combatants left. In the center of the room, there's sort of this big mosh pit. And you see 2 of them essentially flanking Ezra with just think of this as like northeast, south, and west. Ezra's like dead center, and 2 of them are flanking her in north-south direction.
Okay, I'll take the one that's behind Ezra. So I assume that's the south. I'd like to move behind them
Mm-hmm.
and attack twice with my knives.
All right.
First attack is 20. Second attack is 23.
Both hit.
Oh yeah, and all you guys have reckless, remember.
That's true.
And you're all immune to being charmed. What is it? I'll look it up here.
Frightened.
Was it 3 sneak attack dice? Or 2?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If you're level 5, it's 3.
Thanks.
Yep.
So that's 5, 10. So 20 for the first attack. And 9 for the second attack.
Okay.
And then I'd like to move I guess I'll cast I'll use my bonus action to Zephyr Strike my way out of this position.
Okay.
I'll take a
So you're burning another spell?
yeah.
You guys fill you in on your abilities I gave you again.
Yeah, and I'll dip out. It'll give me like 15 feet.
Okay, that brings us to Ezra. You currently just watch as your father got blasted out of one of the wooden panels of the house by, I believe it was Harmony.
Yep.
And then as he kind of got up to his feet, one of the drow spellcasters ran over to him and dimension doored him away. And you watch as the blood that's kind of exsanguinating from wounds that are just opening on your body, that as they were moving towards his gauntlet, it takes a sharp turn west.
Okay. How far from me is this blood?
About 10 feet.
About 10 feet. Can I move toward it, and what happens when I put my hand out and touch it?
Well, first off, you have 2 individuals that are in melee right now that if you drop your defense to try to leave this area right now, you're probably going to take a or 2.
I'm gonna Misty Step out.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna Misty Step 15 feet toward the blood
Okay.
and try to touch it.
Wave your hand through it.
Yeah.
Okay. As you do, it's you feel this warm, wet sensation on your arm. It is now covered in your own blood.
Okay.
Once you touch it and it's like on your skin, it doesn't seem to be interacting the way that it was, but there's still a large portion of it that is like now moving out of the house and moving west at kind of a rapid speed.
Okay.
At this speed, as you misty step and catch some of it, it's like a cat like swiping at like a pressurized hose. Like you just get a little bit of it and it's just gone.
Okay.
So you just see it trail off west and then you lose it pretty quickly, as once it's about 30 feet out, it just looks like air to you because it's like aerosolized almost.
Okay. All right. Was that an action or a bonus action to do that, or what did that?
A bonus action.
That was a bonus action. Okay, I'm
For
going
Misty Step, yeah.
to. Do I still have my action then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And movement.
Okay. I'm going to Sacred Flame one of the guys that was on me.
Okay.
So I need a Dex save.
That's a dex of 15.
That's a fail. 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna take my ram skull out and just hold it defensively toward the two guys. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. One of them is going to rush you. Oof. It's going to swing at you with an 11.
That misses.
A 23.
That hits.
And a 17.
That misses.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
A natural one.
Okay. And also make another Constitution saving throw.
5.
Okay.
6 total.
Okay. So you take 25 points of slashing and poison damage.
That hurt.
And another 9 points of necrotic damage.
I'm down.
You watch as Ezra she lifts the ram skull up, and you watch as these white ghostly flames just begin burning one of these drow assassins. This individual dives through the flames and strikes up with a dagger, kind of getting her right in the chest, and kicks off backwards, like rolling back in a defensive stance, ready to essentially parry an attack from her. At this point, you watch as Ezra, a little bit wounded from that, is kind of staggering, at which point you watch as this just large bolus of blood comes from out of her back, like some invisible wound that cannot be seen. And you watch as it's almost like there is some invisible force that is just like draining the blood from like her upper back and moving it in that same flowing direction, almost in like a pulsing, almost like a pulsatile manner. And she just falls down from essentially blood loss at this point. As a note, it seems like that effect is still active. Okay, that brings us to Hyde. Actually, it's Hyde, Virgil, and Fira. You are all... Oh, Harmony, what was your initiative?
I got 12.
That brings to Harmony.
Yeah.
Where am I in the room? How far from Ezra am I?
You are outside. You're almost outside of the house. Ezra is... Actually, she teleports, so she'd be right next to you, like 10 feet.
Oh, okay. I see your fall. and discard my weapon and run up to her, like a small little white flickering light, and just shove it into her chest, and I use my cure wounds. It's only a D8 plus 5. 8.
8.
Yeah. I don't know if that brings you. I don't know what you're.
Yeah,
How,
that
how
brings
far
me back.
how far below 0
I'm
did you get?
I'm at 1 hit point right now.
Okay.
Okay.
You're
Up
not
at
good.
Harmony, barely conscious. Thank you.
Yeah. I point at the giant blob of blood above you.
Harmony, you are almost at this point covered in a bit of Ezra's blood as you walk by, as that large like mist is just moving. Okay.
I'm
That brings
gonna use-
us.
I'm
What's
gonna
up?
use whatever movement I have to just like we need to follow that, and I'm gonna start walking westward.
Okay. That brings us to Hyde, Virgil, and Fira.
If you guys don't mind, I'll just go.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I'll use a 5th level bless on the party.
Okay.
We were all blessed.
Nice.
And then I'd use my 2 sorcery points to bonus action Sacred Flame to the nearest enemy near me.
Okay.
Just so you know, Rickles, you have the Reckless feature. You have advantage on death saves. If you drop 0 hit points.
Ezra, you cannot go unconscious.
Oh, that's right. My bad.
Oh shit,
yeah,
that's
shit.
true.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can't. You just make death saves.
So what happened? Am I just up?
So nothing changes because you got healed immediately, but
But you just be standing,
you
right?
cannot go unconscious until Hyde's effect ends.
Now,
Do
what
I
is
keep-
Reckless?
Sorry, what?
Sorry, I just didn't know what Reckless was.
Reckless is you have advantage on attack rolls, but if you choose to take it, then everyone has advantage on attack rolls against you.
Gotcha.
And you're immune to fear, paralysis, and unconscious.
How does that work
My-
with hit points? Do you just keep taking the
You
points
can
at
still go.
negative?
You can still go below 0, and you can still die. In theory, if you go like
Okay.
all the way like below your max,
Gotcha.
like double or like if you're at like negative 80 and you're at a max of 80, you just instantly die.
You're just like a zombie at this point.
You're just like you have like a couple rounds after you should be unconscious, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, I rolled a 13.
that does not save.
Okay, go and roll damage.
I rolled 14 total.
14 total damage.
Mhm.
Okay. With that, you watch as one of the already wounded assassins at this point that's squaring off against Ezra, who just kind of cocks his head, almost looking a little scared as what looks like a normally fatal amount of blood loss takes her. She is just unshaken and just staring him in the eye. At which point, Virgil, you cast this aura of divine magic around everyone, and then using your meta magic, twist that same effect into a sacred flame that essentially just begins to disintegrate this drow assassin. So with that, his armor catches this holy flame, and he's just screaming as he's trying to pat it out, yet kind of realizing that it's not a heat that can really be abated by normal means. Okay. Good round. He's out. That just leaves us to
Well, I'm gonna
the...
reaction Hag's soul bag his soul
Okay.
real quick while I'm down.
Okay. So as this is getting fucked up, as he's screaming, you watch as his scream is cut short, as this white radiant light, Ezra just like reaches out and he watches this little like orb of radiant light just like glows at the throat and just gets pulled out of his mouth and into this bag with this like sucking sound, and then the body just goes quiet and limp and falls with this still crackling radiant flame slowly disintegrating what remains.
What kind of candy
Shit.
did I get?
How does that? I don't know how your items work. What do you
Soul
need? I
points,
think you need talent rating.
Yeah, challenge rating.
Wait, so you just go ahead and suck souls out of people and you get
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah.
That was a challenge 8.
That's
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
evil.
Okay.
All right. If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go knock out the one that I guess Asher's engaged with.
That's the one that just died.
Oh, okay. Where's the other one at?
It's across the room, about 20 feet away.
Okay, yeah. I'll just fucking charge it, and I'm going to Superman punch him into the wall.
Okay.
Let's see. So, all 3 attacks. Hold on. Reckless too. Fuck it.
This one
So-
appears to be one of the female, like, older shaman individuals.
Okay. So 19 to hit on that one.
19 hits.
24 to hit on that one,
24 hits.
and natural 19. So
That fucking hits. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
And add your bless to it, bud.
all right, and my blessed. So I have advantage and blessed. Awesome. Fuck, that's not great. 11.
11. After you run, jump, and punch this kind of older drow woman, and you just like,
Yeah.
you just like knock her across the
Nail
room.
right in the face. Yeah.
She gets up, she's already missing teeth. Yet
Yeah.
you watch as she spits out some teeth, and in her blood-filled mouth, she begins to utter a curse in Undercommon.
Uh-oh.
As this happens, you watch as across your forearms, your flesh just begins to split open. It's like death by 1,000 cuts as these wounds just begin to open on your body. And as they open, they bleed for just a second and then immediately dry and scab. And they almost look a little bit infected. And you take 25 points of necrotic damage as she casts.
Fuck.
What's
So
that?
I'm at -1 then. I'm at -1.
Okay. So
So
Hyde
down.
Hyde goes down.
And that drops everybody's abilities to stay up too.
Yep.
Oh fuck.
So with
Okay.
that, you watch as this almost hag-like individual spits out some teeth, mouthful of blood, smiling, begins uttering this curse, and you watch as these lashes just open on Hyde's body, and it just is like the life is sucked out of him as he falls unconscious. That brings us to
Did
Fira.
you take any damage from the first punch or no?
You did. Did you roll? You got to roll damage.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. My hag is still up.
10 points of damage.
So I'll have her take her turn first.
Okay.
I'm not sure which one was frightened or if we have to roll again.
I'll roll a d20. If it is a 10 or below, this is the one that was frightened.
Okay.
That's a 6.
Right,
Okay,
so then you have to do a wisdom saving throw for the death glare.
That's a 12.
Oh, it passes.
Okay.
I'm going to use healing word on Hyde.
Okay.
And I'll just have the hag cornering the other enemy so it can't really move away.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Okay, so with that, as Hyde drops, you watch as Fira begins kind of speaking this druidic language, and his eyes kind of blink open as the healing word brings him back. As the kind of hag begins to move forward to go in for the kill, she hears this like crackling of bones behind her and turns and sees just this horribly just swollen and soggy sea hag behind her, and her eyes are just wide in fear, and she's just petrified. Okay, that brings us to top of the round, Asher. Oh wait, no, Fira, you didn't take your turn.
Yeah, I did. I did the bless wound.
The what now?
The healing word. The healing
How
word.
much healing did I get?
Okay.
Will that be? Still
Bonus
counting.
action. You still have an action.
Okay, then I'll use firebolt.
Okay.
How much healing did I get?
Sorry, I haven't counted it yet. I'll tell you right now. So it's 9 to hit. Does it hit?
What was it?
9.
9 does not hit.
Okay, then that's my turn.
Okay. Top of the round, Asher.
Okay, so how far away is this blade?
Probably about 15 feet.
Cool. I'd like to. My first attack, I'd like to throw a knife at her.
Okay.
And I'm going to be activating the advantage for my Zephyr Strike on this turn. That's a 29 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, and then that does 12, 17 points of damage.
Okay.
Then I'd like to close the distance, and assuming the knife is still in her, I'd like to just, instead of stabbing with the other knife, just go and kind of jump into that and push it in as far as I can.
Okay. Go ahead and roll another attack.
That is more than 20.
Okay. That'll hit.
And then, sweet. That's 9 points of damage. I'd like to kick off her and remove my knife as I place 15 feet of space between us.
Okay. That doesn't end the Zephyr Strike?
No, I can only do that once per Zephyr Strike. Zephyr Strike is a 1-minute concentration spell.
Okay. You've dealt a decent amount of damage. Okay. That brings us to Ezra. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Hide.
11.
You got 20.
20 points of healing?
Yeah.
Okay.
What'd you say,
Thank you.
Alex?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
You take 12 points of necrotic damage.
Oh god, I'm down again.
Okay. Ezra falls. Okay. That is going to bring us to Harmony.
Okay, this is very. So she goes to run and then hears Ezra's death croak. I imagine turns around again. Fuck, like I don't have anything. I'll just turn to Fira. Can you help her as I go and try to pick up Ezra and bring her to Fira?
Okay. Okay. That brings us to Hyde, Virgil, and Fira again.
I will go again. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do a 5th level healing word. I will twin spell that to Hyde and Ezra.
Okay.
All right, let's do that. I'll roll for healing in just a second, but I'll also use another couple of sorcery points there to do death toll on the nearest enemy as a bonus action.
Nice.
You don't need to. The healing word is already a bonus action.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Good call. All right, so I'll do death toll.
Oof, that's a natural 2, so that's a fail. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Sure. And I'll roll the healing too in just a second, let you guys know. Now, was that target already damaged?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he takes another d12, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. This here. D12. He takes it'd be 27 points of damage
Jesus Christ.
for death toll, and then I'll roll your guys' healing.
Okay, in the meantime, Hyde, you are back up.
Okay.
It is you and a very bloodied-looking drow shaman that is just surrounded. Hyde and Fira, what are you guys doing?
I'm going. Or do you want to go first, Fury?
Yeah. Why don't we let the hag try to handle this? So it's frightened. So I'll have to do another wisdom saving throw, I think.
Oh, okay.
Hyde and Ezra take 22 points of healing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is an 11. I've been rolling pretty low.
So it's at 11. Doesn't mean it gets it.
The DC is 11.
Yeah.
I succeed.
Dang.
It's really
go ahead.
when it works.
Hide.
Okay.
I'm gonna get up like you fucking bitch, spit some blood out of my mouth, and smash her in the face with a mace.
Okay.
After a rage.
Oh my god.
You're raging again.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to be running out of these.
Yeah. I'm at. Yeah, I've got one left. All right. Oh fuck! I should have gone reckless. That's a natural 1.
Okay. So you say that, you just run and swing. As you do, you're just going for like you're just trying to Gallagher watermelon this enemy. So you just 2 hands take the thing and just smash down and just completely destroy the flooring. Like you're a little wide, you missed by a couple inches, but you've essentially created like a basement now.
Give it another shot. All right. That's a nat 20. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Playing both ends of the spectrum tonight, huh?
All right, hold on 1 second. I gotta see what I do here for damage. Okay. It's D6 plus I get another one for having done that. So, that's weak for damage. 8 points of damage. 15 total points of damage.
Okay.
And there are effects with that too. Hold on. With my crusher feet, so once you hit a creature with bloody impact. Okay, so she moves backwards 5 feet. She gets pushed back 5 feet, and when I score a critical, all attacks that are made against her have advantage until my next turn.
Okay.
So she can eat a fucking dick.
Okay. Fira, you're up.
Okay. I will try Firebolt again.
Okay.
You have advantage.
You do have advantage.
On to hit rolls?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're also blessed still, right?
That's better.
Yep.
So that's 21.
21 hits.
Cool. And that will be 13 points of damage.
13 points of damage. All right, Fira, how do you and Hyde want to do this, or do you want me to?
You can do it.
I want to smash her face into the fireball that after you're like I'm hitting a baseball.
Okay. All right.
Like our attacks merged.
Yeah, exactly.
You watch as Fira throws this perfectly aimed fireball, and with that, Hyde, who is just sitting there, still smashing the floor, thinking that that's where his enemy is. You watch as this fireball is just perfectly going towards the head of this shaman, at which point a stray shot of the mace, just batter up, comes from the other side, smashes the head into the fireball, and essentially like creates enough velocity such that it actually detonates the firebolt into a larger, almost fireball, and just scatters flame, ash, blood, and teeth across the whole house. It's like a fucked up like meat explosion. It's a horrible sight.
As a reaction,
much as the body just scatters away.
As a reaction, I'm just gonna hold my hand out and hold the hag's bag and get some more souls out of that. So that was my reaction.
I want to point the mace like Babe Ruth style. It's like...
Or Virgil's confused about everything right and wrong as he looks upon this.
So you watch as the shaman's body gets like just starts rolling across essentially the south end, and then you watch as there's almost like the blood is just like draining from her severed head. It's horrible. As it stops, there's almost like this ghostly like mist that's like this grayish mist that begins to be pulled out of the body. As it happens, the body rolls over to the south, stops, and then begins to roll towards Ezra as Ezra pulls this force from it. And it just abruptly like scatters to the ground and stops.
Sorry, I can't help how creepy it is. It's just how it works.
And you have another 8.
Fuck yeah, okay.
You could not collect all the souls.
I do think you have a cap, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, just be wary of that.
What kind of are these aberrations? What are they?
Nope, these are humanoids. These are like people.
Oh.
Yeah, they had names.
They had families.
Yep. Okay.
I'd like to go over to my dead body
Okay.
and kind of like get down next to it. And just kind of observe myself in silence.
Okay.
Put one of my paws on the hand, like a monkey does to a person.
Okay. Asher, you're sitting there revering your old form. It's a very weird feeling looking upon your own dead body.
Slowly walk over to him. You okay, bud?
I think I just need a minute.
I'll be over here if you need anything.
Okay.
Ezra, I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Is she? Can she still add bless to that?
Yep.
Okay.
You said Spirit?
Nope.
Ezra.
Fuck.
Oh.
9.
9.
Yep.
You take 11 points of necrotic damage, and another spout of this red blood begins to open up, this time kind of across your neck and the front of your chest. As this wound just kind of opens, this like aerosolized blood just seeps out, and the wound immediately just closes.
Alright, I am down again as I went to take a sip from my flask of green liquid that I was going to use to cast a spell, but I wasn't able to. And I go down.
Okay.
Try to catch her before she falls.
Can I? What is her condition as far as what is it do I know that is affecting her as I go up to observe her?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. Arcana. That's 18.
18?
Mm-hmm.
As far as you can tell, she is currently... This is a type of magic that you are not familiar with. It's not technically associated with any of the schools of magic that you are familiar with. This appears something more crude, and definitely not refined. Almost reminiscent of some of the magic that Ezra uses, actually. That being said, it appears that she's under a magical effect right now that is still currently active.
Could I try, being as though I don't really am familiar with this magic, could I try Lesser Restoration, one of my racial abilities?
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Okay. With that, you put your hands on Ezra and you release this restorative magic. It seems to take effect, and for a second you see this like arcane red pulse that had pulsed before she was damaged begin to fade, and then you watch as it slowly begins to come back, getting ready for another pulse.
Interesting. Okay, could I feed some healing magic into her so she can be coherent?
Not really, because you already used a Lesser Restoration.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yep, unfortunately not.
Bummer. Is she unconscious?
She's unconscious currently. Is anyone else doing anything?
I'll do healing word on her. 6.
Does that get you up? You're muted, Ezra.
Yeah, I'm up, and I'm going to immediately use a 3rd level false life on myself.
Okay. You watch as Ezra is awake. At this point, almost like seemingly desperate. She just like grabs her pack, grabs this, what looks like a bottle of liquor, and just begins chugging this flask full of hard liquor. You watch as like some of the clear spirit begins to kind of dribble out the sides of her mouth as she's just drinking it like a person that had just walked through a desert for 10 days finding water. The scent of this liquor is foul. You can tell that it's like cheap vodka, essentially. Yet, as Ezra's just guzzling this essentially vodka, you watch as these black veins begin to accumulate like across the sides of her face briefly, and you almost see her skin almost becomes transparent where you can see the side of her skull briefly. Ooh. And then the room just begins to get a little bit colder.
I'll ask her, do you know what you are afflicted with?
No, I have no idea.
At which point I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god, she's
what do you want to do, Harmony?
Yeah, could I have, before this pulse hits her again, I have my healing hands from being an Aasimar.
Okay.
So I'll just place my hands on her back and you get 10 hit points.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So Ezra, as this magic begins to pulse once more, you watch us, you feel someone touching you. You turn around and you see Harmony give you a look of like, what's coming next is going to hurt and I'm here to help, as she pumps these hit points into you. Okay. Trying to give you some support through this next pulse of damage. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Ooh, that's better. 19?
19. With that, as Harmony grips your shoulders and as you kind of grit your teeth, bracing for this next wound, wherever it might be, you feel this kind of cold pulse, and then it vanishes and the effect is ended.
Oh my god.
Thank God.
I'm just gonna lean down onto Harmony. Like, I think it's done.
That's good. That's good. look around at everybody.
As you look around, the house has been more or less destroyed. The people have all but fled. Asher at this point is totally like vacant. He's just staring down at his old body.
I'd like to start dragging it outside.
Okay. As you do, the kind of dark obsidian bow that was hung around the shoulder clatters to the ground as you start to drag your old body outside.
I'm going to put that in the disc.
Okay. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh shit.
Ooh, I like that number. 19. 19.
As you grab the bow, you feel this immediate shudder, like this chill up your spine. And you imagine something familiar, something that you've seen before. You imagine looking up at the face of the woman that you met in the grove. You watch as she holds her hand out to you. This time less... She doesn't look as pristine as she did in the grove. Her arm is covered in bandages. And as she holds out her hand, the finger that extends has almost been rotted to the bone, where it's skeletal. As that happens, you feel almost the same sensation that Ezra felt, where wounds are just opening up all over your body and your blood is just aerosolized and drained from you. And then you kind of snap out of it. It's just like a bad memory that you just thought of. And then with that, you're holding the bow. And holding it, looking at it just makes you a little bit uncomfortable, but you sense that whatever influence this thing might have over you or over the other Asher doesn't seem to be affecting you right now.
Who has the disc at this point?
Okay. You put it in the disc?
Yeah.
Okay. Who has the disc?
I think I do.
So I go over to Ezra and I'm like, let me put this in the disc.
So Ezra,
But don't take it out.
Ezra, as you're just like on your knees, just reeling from slipping in and out of consciousness from blood magic, you kind of look at Harmony, who, you know, gave you this healing energy. Both of you have this kind of smile of like, holy shit, we made it. We survived on your face. And as you share that moment, you kind of feel this tug on your shoulder as Ezra's like, hey, do you have the disc? I gotta put some in the disc. And he's holding this like...
I feel I'd be a little bit more stronger, so just staring at the dead body. But yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take it out. It's not fair.
What is that?
It's the other Asher's bow. I think it's cursed or something. He was under some kind of spell.
Okay.
Just don't take it out.
I won't. Take out the disc. Put that in there.
I continue to drag my body up.
Oh, that's not good.
So Asher, you drag the body out into the cold snow. It's about late, I'd say it's like actually around midday, but it is a dark and dreary day. So you drag the body out, and what are the rest of you doing?
We need to go back to the Wizard's Tower, or the Archmage's Tower. We need to get on the teleportation circle and get out of here unless all of you think we are capable of chasing down the Watchmaster.
We need to go. I agree.
I thought we could chase him down, but yeah, we're a little too fucked up.
Asher, do you mind if I carry your other body?
This is my burden.
I'll go over and like gently pick him up.
No, stop it.
Okay.
Mine.
Asher, are you okay?
Yeah, doing great over here. We can't leave. Yeah.
Sure, we need to go.
Where are we going?
To
We
the
need to
wizard's
rest.
tower. Get out of here.
To
We gotta,
regroup.
we gotta burn this. We can't let anyone else use it. I can't use it, but we can't let her use it either. We gotta get rid of it.
We can give it a proper burial when we get back. That'd be okay?
We get back. Last time we left it, a fucking bitch took it. Is he gonna get back? No.
What would
Yeah.
you like to do, Asher?
We need to destroy this. It's tainted.
Do you believe a pyre would be sufficient?
I mean, I guess.
I can help you.
Can we do that at the wizard's tower?
Yes.
Actually, Hyde, we should probably carry it. It's pretty.
Gently pick it up.
I'll walk over and just put my arm around Asher and kind of start walking with him.
This section of the town looks like it's been pretty, almost like war torn. It seems pretty desolate right now. At this point, almost a hail begins to rain down. It's pretty uncomfortable, not to the point where you're taking damage, but as you're walking, you get towards kind of the edge of town where there's what looks like a forest that begins to come into view. So what exactly are you doing? What are you looking for?
Wait, what? Where are we? We're going to the Archmage's tower.
So you're going east.
Oh shit. Yeah, I guess we're probably just gonna have to abandon.
Oh, I'm sorry. You would be going northwest. Asher, are you just carrying your own body?
No, Hyde picks it up.
Okay. Okay. So with that, where are we? So as you begin heading northwest, you begin to see what looks like a forest that essentially is like marks the precipice of the wizard's tower.
People around?
No, the wizard's tower looks pretty desolate at this point.
I think we should just go in there.
Oh shit. I'm gonna keep an eye out for Greer's body. I know it's been like half a day since we killed him, but
Just in case.
As you cross the bridge and get over to the tower, it looks abandoned. So you wish to enter?
Yep.
Okay. As you enter, you see this spiraling staircase that leads up. A large portion of the stairwell has been just straight up destroyed. It doesn't look like there's a feasible way up there for most of you, but there's a large entrance forward that almost opens up into like an auditorium that seems impossibly large for how small this building was when you look at it from the outside.
Magic.
Shelter in there for now.
Is there any heavy furniture nearby? I'll just drag it. Once we're all in, I'll close the door and drag it in front of the door.
Yeah.
There's not heavy furniture, but there's rubble from the stairwell.
That'll work.
Yeah, I'll grab some rocks.
Yep.
Okay. I'll say with Hyde helping, it takes about a couple minutes and some strain, but you can move some large rubble to kind of barricade yourselves in. Sure.
I'm gonna go and drag my ass down and just sit down somewhere. And I'm gonna take out the souls bag and refine the souls in there.
Okay. Remember what that does.
As a ritual, you can refine soul points into aspects associated with the creature slain.
Okay. How many do you have?
16.
What's your max?
16.
Oh, 16's your max?
Hmm?
Isn't that fucking convenient?
Very convenient.
I don't know how that calculation was made.
I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
All right. All right, you're working on that. What is everyone else doing as you're presumably taking a short rest?
I'm trying.
Sitting.
I'm gonna try to help out Asher with whatever he wants to do with the body at this time.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing? So, what, Asher, Hyde, what are you guys doing?
I'm just sitting with Asher.
I wanted to burn it, but probably not indoors. It's a good idea.
Okay.
Well, I could. I can do a sustained control flame to really keep it in a contained area.
I was more worried about the smoke.
Well, as you look up, this is almost like an endless tower that goes up. Like, you cannot see.
Oh, okay. Fuck it. We're in like an auditorium?
No, you're in the stairwell area. The auditorium does have a roof.
I mean, the auditorium, does it have like chairs and shit?
Yeah, as you go through, yeah, there are very fancy looking velvet chairs.
Like wooden? You know, wood?
Yeah.
Start breaking some chairs.
Okay.
I look at them break chairs and I just cast plant growth so they don't hurt too.
You're casting plant growth?
Yeah.
Okay. To do what?
Kind of to make some sort of altar where you could put the body to burn. So
That's
Oh.
sick. That's awesome.
That's way smarter than what I was
How do you
using.
want to? How do you want to? Like, what does that look like?
What does it look like? Like vines,
Okay.
like a bed of vines sort of thing.
Okay. So as everyone's gathering this kindling, essentially, you watch as Fira is kind of leaning down at this area kind of between two little tiles. And she seems to be like messing with a dagger or something like that. And as anyone curious kind of peeks in, it looks like she's actually carved like a little circle in between like the mortar that's holding these tiles together. And as she begins kind of these very nurturing and soft druidic words, you watch as this small little vine begins to, like, almost like a snake, begins to creep up, at which point there's this kind of rushing sound, at which point the tiles crack and this almost like basket of vines begins breaking through the tile and creating this wooden basket that begins to very quickly dry. And soon enough kind of begins to create like a suitable area to burn something.
Asher, do you want us to say a few words?
I'm not dead.
I know.
No, I just want to get this over with.
I will, if he just wants to continue, I'll set the pyre on fire, and then I'll use control flames to try to keep it in a contained area.
Okay.
So it doesn't get out of hand.
Okay. So with that, you lay down Asher's old body. And Virgil, you're casting, what are you casting?
Control flames?
Control flames. Okay. Does anyone else want to do anything to kind of contribute to this? You watch as that basket, as Fear is continuing to manipulate it, as it was like a basket reaching up, it now begins to close around Asher, and almost like these wooden vines begin to embrace him and wrap around him multiple times.
I'm just gonna go and sit down. I'm looking pretty bad, so I'm just gonna observe.
Okay. Ezra, as you walk over, what you've pulled out of the bag is just this perfect, like, white light. As you have 8 units of vital aspect.
Sounds good.
Okay. So you watch as Ezra comes by with this like glowing orb that's kind of intangible in her hand. With that, Virgil, you cast your spell, and at the base of these vines, they begin to slowly ignite with this red burning char. Asher,
Before they close over his body, can I throw that blue flower I have in there?
yeah.
All right.
Interestingly, Asher, as you're watching these flames, there's something familiar about the smoke that's beginning to sort of fill the general vicinity and go up into this large column. And you swear you see a pair of blue eyes staring at you through the smoke. And you almost see in the smoke it create an image of a person who grabs a hat and just tips it at you.
Ooh.
At which point that image is just kind of scattered as Hyde drops like a larger heavy flower like right over it. And as that blue flower drops over the flames, it seems to be very flammable, and it just burns before it even touches the base of these vines. And something very uncanny happens at this moment. The flames immediately begin to engulf the entirety of Asher's body and this like vine basket that you've made. Virgil, this is something that is very clearly out of your control at this point.
Interesting.
And the flames, although they are far too close to your body, they are blue in color and they do not appear to be hot.
Well, that's odd.
And at this point, you are all standing there just looking into this blue flame. And it's bright and it's beautiful. It's creating smoke, but you're not suffocating, and you're just kind of entranced by whatever's happening. Ezra, to you, this seems very much suspicious for a miracle of the traveler.
Harmony is going to say a silent prayer to herself, or rather to the Raven Queen, wishing whatever remnant of Asher's soul is in this body safe departure, and to guard it and to make sure nothing else ensnares him, whatever is remaining.
I think Virgil will bow slightly and give respect to the notion of transitioning from oneself to another, both either spiritually or physically. Basically, just paying homage to personal growth.
I'm gonna grab one of the wood pieces and start to carve out a spine, just one section. Just kind of
One of the wood pieces in the flame?
Yeah.
Okay. You watch as Ezra just reaches her hand into the flame and snaps off one of the broken branches. It's still burning with that blue flame, and you watch as Ezra's hand seems to almost have caught the same flame, but it doesn't seem to be burning you. And with that, it slowly she shakes it off, and it goes out, and she just begins carving. Go ahead and make a dexterity check.
It's a natural one.
Natural 1.
I tried.
Okay.
I gotta get some food. I'll be right back.
So, as you're carving, what are you using to carve this with?
The blade that I just bought.
The serratium blade?
Serratium one, yeah.
Okay.
It's my first time using it.
As you take this serratium blade, you begin carving this vertebrae out of the this piece of wood. As you do, you notice the wood is actually getting harder. It's getting hard to cut this thing. And you get to a point where you're pressing into it to cut this piece of wood, and the wood is at this point hardening and hardening and hardening, almost like it's petrified. And you get to a point where you actually chip the serratium blade on this piece of wood.
Oh my god.
And as you look at what you're holding, this looks like a piece of solid stone. You've carved it out almost perfectly, but you're now holding like this stone vertebrae. It's made of like this strange, like almost gunmetal tinged rock with what look like blue veins going all the way through it, like glowing blue veins.
I look up. Is anyone else watching or seeing this?
I would say Harmony happened to see that.
Okay.
I'll make eye contact with Harmony. It's pretty cool, huh?
I have no idea what's happening.
You've also permanently damaged your serratium blade,
Damn it.
so it would need to be repaired.
It's fine. It was worth it. I'll walk over to Asher and take his hand and slide the stone into his palm.
What's this?
It's a gift from the traveler. For you.
A vertebrae?
You can't really tell what it looks like. It looks like kind of like a wedged stone. It appears to be heavy, but it's got these blue, like almost like veins going through it. And what's funny, Asher, is as you're holding it with your keen senses, this thing's vibrating at kind of a low frequency.
I think Virgil will continue to stare into the pyre and mutter out loud, "Beware the gifts of the traveler."
So as Virgil kind of audibly says that, the way that Gandalf does, wanders over the ring, staring into the fire.
Riddles in the dark.
Thanks.
Oh man. Yes, that's what I say.
Yeah. Perfect. Asher, before you have a chance to really comprehend what just happened, you hear this, like, the sound of rock on rock. Like you're standing in the middle of a rock fall, but it's coming from below you. And you watch as that flame, as you look at it, is now almost getting compressed down. And the flame is flickering more vigorously, almost like something is just compressing it, and pressurizing it. And you hear these rocks just clattering together. And it gets to a point where it just turns like this blue-white blinding light. And then there is this crack, essentially what sounds like a gunshot in the middle of the room. And the body, the basket, everything seems to be gone. There is almost just like this little blast zone where the tile once was. There's now like a small crater. The entire room is filled with this blue mist with these almost like fireflies of this bright blue light. And in the center of this tower where Asher's body was burned, you see this little sapling, this blue barked sapling with blue veins running through it, about 3 feet tall. And you watch as it begins to sprout these faint, like light blue leaves that begin to look vibrant and beautiful. And then right before your eyes, they die, break off, and disintegrate in the air as the tree briefly loses color, gains color again, regrows its leaves. The leaves die and break off. And you watch as the sapling is just going through seasons in a cycle of seconds. Just repeating.
That's weird.
Here, are you doing this?
I have no clue what's going on. Would I recognize
Make
like this?
an Arcana check. Tell you what, whatever check you want to do, and depending on what check you pick, determines what information I might give you.
Okay.
So you could do any intelligence-based check.
Okay, 16 for nature.
Nature. As you're watching this, it looks like you almost feel like you are watching a tree the way that a god would watch a tree, where you are just watching years fly by in a number of seconds. It's something that doesn't quite make sense, but as you're watching it, with your keen elven eyes, you notice that this tree right before your eyes is growing.
Okay, let everyone know that.
At this rate, it's about 3 feet tall right now. You figure if you came back in a week, it might be double the size. It's growing at a rate that's almost imperceptible, even to your eye, but because of your keen connection to nature, that's how you could tell that this thing is growing right before you.
Harmony will go back into she'll leave the auditorium and go back to the entrance. And actually, I'm gonna use detect magic real quick.
Okay. Detect magic, where are you?
In the entrance room, the stairwell.
As you use detect magic, the tree around you is obviously magical. And as you look all around you, those little beads that are kind of suspended in the air, those blue beads, also have a magical presence.
Can I reach out and just try to grab one?
Yeah. You reach out and grab one, and it's like, weirdly, it does seem to have some kind of, it's odd, it's not matter, it's almost like magnetic matter, where like you can grab it, even though it doesn't feel like you're touching anything, and you can try to compress it, but you get to a point where your fingers aren't strong enough to compress whatever energy this is.
Does it kind of work like mercury,
Okay.
or is it more tangible?
Less.
Less tangible. Interesting.
It's like if you could hold static, like
Ooh.
compress the static.
That's cool. Is there a does this plant have a solid stem or trunk to it?
Yeah.
How big?
Maybe about like 3/4 of an inch thick.
3/4 of an inch thick. Okay.
That's like the trunk of it.
Okay.
It doesn't have like branches that are really strong enough to. I mean, it's got like a couple branches. I'd say they're like 1/8 of an inch.
Okay. No, I'm gonna leave it be.
Could I have followed Harmony?
Harmony's still in the room.
No, I left to the stairwell room.
The stairwell room's in the main room.
Oh, I thought we were in the auditorium, which is separate.
No. This all happened in the stairwell room because there was the endless ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah. The auditorium's the other room.
Okay.
Well,
So you want to go to the auditorium?
I would have followed Harmony. Don't know
Where
she
is
went.
Harmony?
I guess I got things mixed up, so I walked from one end of the room to the other and began playing with the blue lights in the air.
Okay. And the blue lights are currently like surrounding you guys everywhere.
Yeah, I'm actually gathering them. Like I'm moving one on my hand to the next. And I'm kind of trying to put them together,
Okay.
seeing if that increases the magnetic pull or push.
You do notice that as you begin to like push them together, they do kind of like almost like some kind of weird amoeba, like begin to connect into a bigger one.
Okay.
How do they react to my glove if I try to reach out and touch one?
You touch it, and it's almost like touching like a little marble in zero gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Except it's odd because it'll move for a second and then it seems to be like these things seem to have like a high level of inertia where like they don't want to move. You'll touch it and it seems, although it has almost no weight, it'll move for a bit and then slow down and stop. It doesn't seem to react any
Gotcha.
different to your gauntlet.
Gotcha.
Ezra's just kind of been watching Harmony, and she's gonna say, "You're ready to go chase out there, huh?"
I think we should have struck while the iron was hot, but we're all a bit too injured, I think, to really do anything.
That vision that you saw showed you Asher's body, right?
It did.
Was that the end of it?
I wish I could know, but I think maybe that might have been one part of it that's come to an end.
Why do you care so
Ash-
much about this? Not that bothers me, but
Because I already had my chance to live, and I made mistakes, and I wasn't prepared for the consequences of those mistakes. And I was graced with the chance to try again. And this is what I was tasked to prevent, so I don't see much purpose in doing anything else.
do you plan on sticking around with us for long? I mean, is this a long-term thing, or are you just, finishing
Only
up with
as-
Asher?
No, I don't. Only as long as it takes. There's still, and she stops pushing the lights and pulls out the book on the plains and flips through a few pages. And there's names of like the fire mage and like the swordsman. There's still other interests that I need to, that we, I think, all should figure out.
I agree.
And then eventually, and I just gaze at Virgil, we need to do something about our people.
I gaze back. Sorry, got a mouthful of fruit here.
You're good.
And I nod. But my eyes don't seem hopeful. They seem more contemplative than anything about. Well, I guess you wouldn't know what they'd be contemplative about, but they just don't seem very hopeful. Just more lost in thought.
For now, though, what are we doing about this place? If we rest here for the night, I think I can get us out. I'm not sure where we can go, but
I think we need to get out.
This would be the quickest way.
okay. Can somebody come with me to look for the teleportation circle?
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Okay.
Check
So-
on it one more time, like, you alright, bud?
Yeah, I'll be fine. Is it still burning?
No. The burning?
Yeah.
No,
So there's nothing left, right?
what's that?
There's nothing left, right?
There's nothing left.
Alright.
When Harmony made her prayer, did she get any feeling? I don't know how the presence of God's work, do I get the feeling that I was heard at all?
Make a general wisdom check.
Okay. Oh, 17.
What god do you pray to, Harmony?
She was praying to the Raven Queen this time.
Interesting. Okay.
When you let out that quick prayer, you initially didn't sense any presence. There's something supernatural going on, and for a second you feel a bit, what's the word? You do feel a bit like you have not been heard.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like whatever you're trying to reach out to either is not interested or you're just not able to connect to. And it's kind of a bit of a disappointing feeling, to be honest. And as you're kind of walking through the auditorium, you hear this like, "Rah!" as a raven flies past you, like it almost hits you. And it lands kind of in almost the center stage, on a glass case.
As Harmony's having that moment of doubt, she smiles and accepts the sign and goes to the glass case.
Okay. As you begin walking forward, you see a little black feather drop from seemingly above that raven.
Grab it.
And you look up, and what you did not realize is that in this auditorium, there must be 100 ravens just perched up in the darkness right now. And you just see these kind of whitish eyes blinking in the darkness right now.
Nuts.
And with one movement, that one that's on the glass case begins to fly up into almost like this glass dome, that seemingly made up this portion of the auditorium that has since been broken in whatever conflict happened here. You watch it just flies out, and with that, there's this almost tornado of ravens that now begin to make their mass exile out, just raining down black feathers across this entire. It's like a snow globe of black feathers right now.
I'm standing there in amazement. Sight of this.
I'll turn to hide. I think your brother is safe for now.
Okay. What just happened?
The queen was here. At least her eyes.
I think that's a good thing.
She shrugs.
With that feeling of purpose and confidence is replaced with a bit of a feeling of discomfort, and you don't quite know why. As when you look at the glass case that the raven had initially landed on, you look around, and what you didn't realize before is that this entire auditorium seemed to be almost like a little museum of sorts. And what is now covered in feathers, you see this large glass case with like two prongs that look like it was holding something at like an angle. And you see a word that inspires despair, and that word is Orcus. On a plaque that is mostly covered in feathers, etched into the side.
down and sort of brush the feathers off.
As you brush the feathers off, you see the stone tablet that has completely been etched in. And it reads, "The Wand of Orcus. Taken from the trader Roxanne Imari in the province of New Delhi."
Well, Harmony doesn't know what any of this is, but she considers it sort of an omen. And it's empty, correct?
It is empty. And as you, at this point, if it is anyone following Harmony?
Yeah, I'd be walking around. I don't know necessarily following her, but I'd be looking around as well.
Okay. Harmony, as you're close to this plaque, you watch as the glass case, you hear this like this impact, and it lights up. Like there's this kind of bluish white, like stage light that is coming out from beneath the display to sort of cast light on whatever is supposed to be inside it.
Okay.
As that happens, you hear one come from behind you. And you turn and you watch Virgil as he stepped closely to one of these display cases. And there's another empty display case. Can you look around?
I think these are the items we're meant to find.
This entire auditorium is almost like a chain reaction. As one of these lights up, it begins to percolate through the entire auditorium, as there's now like 20, 50 of these artifacts, almost all missing, that have just lit up.
I still have detect magic up, so I will
You
do a quick sweep.
You don't really need to,
Okay.
as there's only one item that has been left behind. As you look towards the center, sort of near to you, there is a almost katana-like blade with green runes that go up the blade, with the hilt kind of extended, with the middle of the hilt broken up by what looks like a chain link, a single one. The back of the hilt goes into what looks like a curved, like specifically a throwing blade. So it's almost like a double-edged sword.
Oh shit!
And as you look at it, it says the Sword of Kaz.
Oh fuck!
Oh
What's this
no.
doing here?
What's interesting? Virgil, Ezra, Hyde, Fira, and Asher. You've seen this sword before.
Didn't we have like a shared vision or something?
Nope, you saw someone wield it.
Do a history check.
It wasn't the guy on the card's name, right?
Nope.
Interessante. Oh
How many
shit!
didn't? So this was a while ago then.
A very long time ago.
So I gotta think back.
It was in the sink. Actually, Virgil, you have not seen it.
Oh, okay, come on.
The rest of you competed against an individual that wielded this blade.
Well, if this was the one thing they left behind, says Harmony, I'm not sure it's wise to mess with it. No objections? Okay. I open the case and I grab the sword.
I don't, I don't want a sword.
Harmony,
Yeah.
as you reach out and touch the hilt, you lift it up. It's very well balanced.
Oh my god, it's like you play a certain character that's your favorite and you see like little bits of him left and you're just like, fuck.
Okay, well. I wonder why they left it.
As you pick it up, you look over the plaque, and it says the Sword of Cassian, first of the shifters, and it briefly goes into kind of the history of the blade. It describes a blood curse that afflicts anyone that touches it, and it kind of goes into theories of immortality or a certain type of lichdom, such that part of the curse is essentially that whoever is afflicted by it is essentially cursed to never die.
Oh god. I don't even know how to use a sword, so I'm gonna hard pass on that one.
Does anybody want a sword?
Why would you? It's a cursed blade. Does anyone want a cursed blade?
Had to do with the shifters?
I think
what you read on that.
you live forever. If anybody want to live forever? No?
That's
Okay.
not spelled repeatedly.
Can you use a sword, Asher?
Yeah, sure.
Do you really want that though?
I feel like I don't want to give it to you, though, actually.
Temptation.
Why? You just
I don't
like to
think
live
it'd be
forever.
responsible.
Seems a bit
As a note,
irresponsible,
when you
yeah.
look at like the plaque, there is a warning at the very end that it essentially says like, under no circumstances is it safe to handle this weapon.
It says it's not safe, but like I'm completely fine.
That's fine, because as you're touching it, you don't notice anything, you don't feel anything.
You said I could live forever?
Astro, hold on. Let me.
Hey man, we just burned my fucking body, so you could shut up for a second.
Damn aggressive from a 13-year-old.
Throw
Excuse
it
me,
here.
mister, he helped you.
This is an adult body that I'm in now, buddy. So you can buckle up.
It's an adult
Someone gently,
mindset you got there.
Hands out, see if you want. Hand it to me.
What?
Let me take a look at this thing.
Don't. Why can't I ever have anything cool? I
You know, I
got this.
Maybe we should just keep it and not do anything with it for now.
Put it in the disc.
I don't hand it to anybody. I don't put it in the disc either.
Okay, fine.
You're
Is
fine
there,
holding
there
that,
are
Harmony?
there runes on the blade of it?
Harmony, are you trained in Arcana?
I believe so.
I am. But
Yes.
Being around the Aasimar, you've seen powerful magical items, not necessarily legendary ones, but you can usually sense when you're in the presence of a particularly powerful item, especially one with such a profoundly, I guess, notorious curse. You can just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel anything coming from this thing.
What's a replica?
Virgil is looking at Harmony intently, seeing what she'll do next.
Magic weapons. Would Harmony would she know about the resilience of a magical weapon? Like if I stomped
you
on
have
a
detect
blade?
magic up. This is a magical weapon.
Interesting.
Got like a magical aura coming off of it. It's not like...
What's the school of magic coming from it?
You can tell.
Uh-huh.
Enchantment.
Okay.
I can identify it if you'd like.
Yeah, that's I'll explain. Usually this feels more benign than it should. So maybe we figure out exactly what it is, and then if it's safe, whoever can. I don't really need a sword. All I would do is offer it to my gods.
I'll put my hands out and carefully take it. And then I'll start 10 minutes of identify on it.
As you look around, you see a couple other notable things. You see a large glass case with a very notable, obvious splattering of blood on the sides of the casing from inside. There are 2 plaques. As if you would go and investigate that. The first one says Solomon, son of Cassian.
God, shivers.
And the second one says the Eye of Vecna.
Oh,
More shivers.
As you look further down, you see a podium that it's like a glass case within a glass case, both of which have been destroyed. And there appears to be like this faint, like velvety, like rest where it looks like something was placed on top of it. That one says Hand of Vecna.
That's the items that they were trying to get us to get, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think yeah. They weren't on Greer, so that means somebody took them before he got here. Most likely wasn't a peasant, so it was probably the Archbishop. The Archbishop took them and ran with them.
Wait, wasn't this his tower?
Mm-hmm.
It was not the Archbishop's tower. It was.
Wasn't?
It was owned by one Ophan Amadeus.
Oh, Ophan Amadeus.
I thought that was the Archbishop.
Nope.
Oh shit.
Oh, is that the Archmage of the college?
The
the ex-Archmage?
Ex-Arch essentially went into work for the government. You also get the sense that all these items were essentially stolen from the college reliquary.
But why was the sword left, I wonder?
At which point, Ezra, you finish identifying it.
Mm-hmm.
This identifies as essentially a +1 longsword.
It's a fake.
It is a replica.
It's a replica.
Yeah.
Does anyone want a +1 sword though?
I'll take
Actually,
it
you can actually have this one if I'll hand it to Hyde.
Wait,
We lost him.
James.
Yeah.
Leads me to think
Oh, he said he's
it's
going to bed.
original. Who's going to bed?
James.
James, oh, did he close out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
It leads me to think that the original owner of this sword still has it.
At this point, you all do remember there is someone that you know who holds this sword. You've seen it before.
Where?
It's held by the mercenary you met in the sink by the name of Lily.
Oh shit.
Who the fuck is Lily? I don't remember
She
Lily.
was
That
the,
ogre lady?
She's part of
Was she an ogre?
team.
What's that?
Was she an
Wasn't
ogre?
No, she worked with an orcish woman by the name of Oriana.
yeah, she's the leader of the other group that we fought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
She stole that sword. Wait, I'll tell Harmony. Someone in the sink has that sword. It's a powerful weapon to be carrying around.
Do you think it's worth getting? Should we retreat to the sink?
I
That's
mean,
where you're all from, correct?
yeah, if we can make it back to the sink, but who else do you think has all this stuff?
The person who owned this tower?
Why would he break the cases to take it? Why wouldn't he just take them in the case if he knew what they did?
What if the marshal took it?
Marshall wasn't in the fight when we were fighting.
Do I have a
Yo.
DM question? I have a DM
Yeah.
question. Would Ezra know about Roxy's hand? When I did the legend lore? Okay.
So the question is, should we rest here for the night and chase down the marshal, or retreat and do what?
I don't think we're gonna have to.
I don't know where the
Retreat.
marshal's going. But I
I
think
will say-
we need to regroup.
I will say, there's still plaques that have not been read.
Shit, what else is there?
You didn't read the plaque for the hand or eye of Vecna.
Are all these plaques in English?
Yeah, they're in common. Like, this literally is like a Playboy mansion for like a super like billionaire, designed to be like, hey, look at, like, this is the Holy Grail. Like, yeah, I have it.
Okay. Yeah, I want to look around at some shit.
Okay. So you would, on reading blurbs on the Hand of Vecna, it would essentially say, Hand of Vecna, the physical appendage of an old lich. Some say the creator of the Shadowfell. Others say a necromancer that grew so powerful that he rivaled Orcus. Legend has it that whoever cuts off their own arm and attaches the arm of Vecna slowly lose their mind. And also, if the arm is ever removed, it is said that the one who had it attached will immediately perish and be unable to be resurrected by any means unless the arm is attached again.
Very specific.
It would furthermore go into the history of the arm. It would describe how essentially the arm and the eye were gathered by a fringe cult in Adria that sought to essentially bring out a demon from the Shadowfell, and that this demon eventually terrorized different people in Adria and in New Delhi until they were subsequently slain by a mercenary group composed of Roxanne Amari, Solomon, and a few members of the party that would later be known as the Butchers of the Hill. It goes on to describe how Roxanne Amari did wield the hand of Vecna. And it was kind of a defining characteristic of her when she was essentially wanted by the Imperium.
If we were to come back, I think that we should go after the body that me and Harmony saw. From what I'm reading here,
What body? I'm sorry.
The body that was in the middle of the church. I mean, that giant pillar that had to be a body, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, you want to go back? Yeah. That's definitely, I think, where your father is heading.
I think we should cut off the arm from the body, right? That should work, right?
Yeah, it sounds right.
So we rest, and in the morning we go back down to that tavern.
Yeah.
Is there any point in retreating? What do we get from running away?
Leave this
I have an idea.
What are you thinking?
We could ask someone to help us, or force them to help us. You still have Levi's card, right?
We do.
If you summon him, we can try to bind him to our will. Just for 24 hours. Bring him back here.
Can't we just ask him?
You're gonna be giving up more of yourself to him. You get weaker, he gets stronger. I mean, we're already trying to fight this because we don't want this shit spreading. We're just gonna give him more ammunition. Because he's doing the same thing to us.
Do we want to make an enemy in the process? Because that's what we'd certainly be doing.
Making an enemy.
Or we could be proving ourselves.
To what end?
Well, I'm willing to give it a try.
You know me, I'm gonna follow you guys wherever you go.
I'll be honest with you, as a character and as Ricky, I'm a little lost. So what? Okay, so this guy who's
you don't know who Levi is?
Well, I know. Yes, here's the thing: the main characters I missed. So I know who Levi is. I don't really know the extent of his background, but I know what he does and what his offer is. Why are we going after Ezra's father? I mean, what was his agenda?
I think that this is just another power that is growing, or another plane of existence that's colliding into ours. And I think that if we can stop it at the root, we should try to.
Why?
Virgil would have, because I shared the dream with Virgil, so you would have seen what is Roxy, this Kerensili's body, as a main factor in the destruction of everything.
And this Ezra's father is potentially going towards Roxy's body.
Probably.
Okay, I'm with you. That's all I needed. I'm in 100%.
Really? Is Virgil
Well,
just in?
yeah, I'm in. Yes, I saw it in the vision. It's no good. It's no good. And don't want bad things happening.
You know,
You
So
bitch, I'm in.
I'm in. Yeah.
Ezra's gonna look at Virgil and just kind of shake her head a little bit and say, Virgil, what I'm saying is that we go in there and we wipe out the entire cult. Wipe out the marshal. Wipe out Currency.
Well, okay. Wasn't clear on that one. Sounds a little bit like mega murdery. I'm all for stopping bad things from happening, but I'm not down for killing every person who I think may be quote unquote evil.
I'm with you on that one.
And my brother, and I give him a fist bump.
So we just let it spread? That's our other option.
Well, Virgil goes into his whole preaching portion of this. We are who we choose to be. And I believe personally that there will always be powers that want to do good and want to do bad. For everyone we take out, there will be more to take its place in either side. And the trick is just living with yourself in the day-to-day and murdering a whole bunch of people just because they may or may not be evil. I can't live with myself after that. Who do I become? What side of the line do I end up on?
I will leave this up to everyone.
Look, Ezra, I'm all for hunting down the marshal and stopping him. But why can't we just leave it at that?
Agreed.
Let the people let them make their own choice.
I think
They
the
go
marshal
after this
and the body.
beauty or whatever it is they're planning to do, so be it. We'll handle that another day, or let fate take care of itself.
And leave this city to just fend for its own. It's gonna be without leadership. How are they gonna get supplies over here? What are they gonna do?
Would you like to lead the city?
I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
I'm for that as well.
But in the process, we'd have to wipe out the cult.
Why is that?
I think we have to wipe them out. If we can cut the head off the snake.
Because
And
we're not
let's
cutting
see-
the complete head off the snake if we don't destroy that cult. It's just gonna spread. That's how gods get their powers, is from people worshipping them.
Maybe, but they need one person that's powerful enough to be able to handle it. One person with the vision. If we kill that person, maybe they'll disperse.
I'm all for defending for what's right. I'm not for attacking in the hopes that we are preventing something evil.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, these aren't good people. I mean...
And are you a good person? Am I?
I try to be.
Perhaps one day somebody in that cult will try to be as well. Will you decide that for them, though?
Exactly.
Says Gandalf from the movies.
I thought this was a good idea at first, but Virgil's making a point. I think maybe we just kill the sheriff or kill your dad, I guess.
Then, I mean, what's the point of even killing them?
I think death is inevitable for everybody, but it's what you're willing to die for and what you're willing to kill for. That's a distinctive line, and
I mean, they
I
were
will
willing to kill for Currency.
defend a town and I will, if they decide to act upon defending or attacking a people, I will defend them. But I just can't kill everyone who I think might be evil in hopes of preventing further evil. I mean, at that point,
I mean, it was justified without actual proof.
I'm playing God at that point, which I don't really believe. Virgil doesn't really believe in.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we just come back, kill the marshal and Currency and be done with it?
Yep. Walk away. Let nature take its course. See what happens from there.
What if we wait a bit, because we don't even know what they're doing? What if we wait and see what's happening with your blood? Decide if it's good or bad.
I mean, I don't think this Currency person is good whatsoever.
Is Corensally your sister?
I don't know. I think so.
Gotcha.
And from the history that I saw, she was not a good person.
What did she do?
DM question, I'm getting my actual knowledge and my Ezra knowledge mixed up.
Such is the way with good and evil.
I know that
All you know is that she essentially went on what essentially is like an assassination spree, where she was running around what was then known as Paradise, which is Dweomerheart, and essentially just murdering Imperium officials and high-ranking like military leaders. Some actually argued that this like essentially murderer opened the path for the sovereignty to take hold. Because while the Imperium was split dealing with Adria and New Delhi, you essentially had someone just like cleave through a large portion of their greater leadership. But as far as you know, based on the stories, it was not an attempt to like dismantle the Imperium. It was purely personal.
okay. She's
Not a good person.
not a good person.
And you
But-
begin to it begins to sort of dawn on especially those trained in religion, it makes sense how organically this person who then became a legend, who then almost is kind of on their way to becoming a god just by the nature of what they embody. And that is just pure vengeance.
But
Well, that's not something you really want out there in the world.
so long
And
as she
it's-
has followers, it's always going to be out there.
So long as man breathes, there will always be evil.
Oh yeah. I was about to say that. I feel like you don't have control over things like this. Like it's much bigger than us.
All we can try to do is stop it at its source.
I'm going to turn to Ezra and just point blank ask her, what do you love the most?
loved my family. I mean, Fira is important to me. She's my family. What do I love? Apart from that, I don't know. I don't really think that I'm here to love anything.
I think in the powers of good and evil, I think love is really the only power structure that matters. And for you to defend what you love for good or evil, who's to say? That being said, I'll also say I love my family. And I'll look around the room and say, and whatever happens, I'll defend what I love. But I hope I don't. I hope I don't change who I am for the sake of it. And I'll leave it at that. I mean, and then wherever the party goes, I'm right behind you. Though maybe I will be unhappy about it. You'll have that to deal with.
Does Virgil actually say that?
In so many words.
He gives it all with just a look.
Yeah. That was it. It was in my eyes.
Just give you a slow nod. It just says, I hope you make the right decision.
That's right.
God, that's like dad disappointment right there. Fuck.
Jesus is watching.
Ezra's just kind of look defeated and just go sit down next to the tree and gaze into it. I think regardless, we should get out of here.
Virgil's vote in this, and he'll express this in his own way, is really these forces are going to do what they're going to do, and something's always going to replace them. I think for now, I think it's a good idea to just go pick a town we like and rest up for a little bit and enjoy some R&R.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that.
But this is one of the things that is going to bring about the destruction of everything.
Yes.
Right here in front of us. It's not something to ignore and think that another power will just come by.
If you wish to be that power that balances out what you would call the evil one, then I'm right beside you. But that's a choice you have to make.
I've already made it.
All right. Then let's do this. I don't know what that means, though. Like, does that mean we go someplace? Like, where are we going? I don't know what that means.
Start at the orphanage.
Yeah.
Start with the younglings.
Not the younglings.
Whatever woman I saw in my vision, I believe that to be the body that's under the temple, under the tavern. So if we can kill that, then that's one less, like checking off one of my hit list. So that's my vote. And then I'm gonna go look for the arcane sigil to teleport out of here.
Okay. As you begin moving around and investigating, sure enough, you do find an arcane sigil. It's kind of towards the back as you go further down the auditorium. As a note, there are bodies scattered around this portion of the auditorium. As you look over towards the sigil, the sigil appears to not be intact. It looks like there's a large gash running through it. And you see what looks like an elderly man wearing very ornate clothing, beautiful rings that is face down in a pool of his own blood. Notably, actually you wouldn't see that. Just face down in a pool of his own blood.
Over the sigil?
Yeah, like he was running toward it. Actually, he looks like he made it to the sigil. And then began to move away from it.
Okay, I'm just going to clear all the bodies from around it. And if he's one in the process, I'll just kick him over.
Okay.
Just move him off the sigil.
As you kick him over, he's got this very glazed look in his eye. You being practiced in Arcana, many very old and very powerful mages actually tend to lose their pupils. They get essentially like a deposition disease where the constant use of like arcane energy actually deposits like almost like cataracts, like this
magical cataracts.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's a little factoid where when you have a lot of really powerful mages, they actually tend to keep up the look of their pupils through like illusions. His are almost like completely glazed over. And as you kick him over, he notably has a very prominent puncture wound in his chest with what looks like something like obsidian black, like peeking through.
Wait, there's something still in his chest?
Yeah, there's like a foreign body in like the center of his chest that's just like shattered through the bone and penetrated the heart.
I don't want to touch it.
Ew.
Okay. I'm going to summon Dusk, but
Okay.
instead of a great axe, it is in the shape of a spear.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to pry it out of there.
Okay, with a very like gristly, you'd be kind of working it out. This is a kind of familiar looking obsidian arrow tip.
Ashers. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'll pick it up.
Okay, you pull it out, and yeah, it does look like one of Asher's obsidian arrow tips.
Interesting. Okay, I will try to clear off the teleportation circle, and I'm not very good at it, but I'm going to try to repair it if I can.
Okay.
I don't know what I need. If I can just use a dagger.
Do you have a jeweler's kit?
I do not.
Do you have
I
a
have,
do you
I
have
have weaver's tools.
do you have a multi-tool?
I do.
Someone has a multi-tool?
Yeah, I do.
Hide those, yeah.
Okay. You see,
Oh, that's right. The jeweler's tools and the tinker's tools, or whatever it is.
yeah, you see Harmony struggling to kind of figure out how to approach this issue.
Everything right? I walk over here.
Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing with this, to be honest. Like, at all.
What does it look like on the floor? Like,
I mean,
Is it
there's
just
like
like-
a circle of runes with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of these like repeating circular rows that have been damaged by a large gash through the stone.
Now, Alex, in this lore, are runes a language of sorts or more like a representation?
It's less of a language unless you consider something like calculus to be a language.
Enough said. Gotcha. So I guess my question was, my comprehend language skill would not be helpful here to try to figure out what kind of order this kind of runes go into. Okay.
No, this would be like you would essentially, in a small way. Okay, Harmony, because you are again trained in Arcana, you would know that the way a teleportation sigil works is it's not one enchantment; it's a string of like 300 enchantments that are essentially placed in sequence to work collectively together to transport from one place to another. So you could, in theory, rebuild a damaged sigil, honestly, potentially without even having the original sequence. Like it's kind of like math. Like there's multiple ways to get to the right answer. It's just a matter of creating the right pieces. So what you have before you is an arcane puzzle. You just don't have the tools, or you might not have the tools, depending on what your group has, to tackle it. And then it's a matter of actually like doing the math part to figure out how to actually solve this.
Okay, well, does he know what tools he needs?
Yeah, I'll ask if anybody has a jeweler's kit or something sharp, something to, I imagine, inscribe the rest
Reach
of the
into a leather
runes.
pouch on my hip and just pull out like a multi-tool. This work?
I'll give it my best shot.
I also have a wooden stake and an arcane focus.
That might do the trick.
All right. And a holy symbol if you need it.
He starts pulling all this shit. Dumps it back
I
down.
haven't really taken the time to see this shit.
So you would know that if you're essentially operating with, go ahead and make an alchemy check.
Ooh.
Me?
Yeah,
I'm not. So what is that? Because I'm not proficient in
great
that.
intelligence.
Guys, my phone's about to die.
Okay.
It's at like 2%, so I will jump out and I will catch up with you guys later.
All right.
All right, Eddie. Have a good night, brother.
I mean,
You guys.
Bye.
I like that I'm on your mind.
I have no idea why I said your name.
That's all right. I'll take it for what it's worth.
Harmony, you need an alchemist to help you figure this out.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that's not me.
I can do some alchemy. right?
Yeah, Ezra is the most alchemic out of
I'll
us, I believe.
grab my glasses, put them on. Okay, Harmony.
Here, I'll just hand the tools.
Well, it's not a matter of the tools. You're trying to figure out what you need. So Ezra, go ahead and make an alchemy check.
I still handed her the tools.
What was it? An alchemy?
Tell you what, this is going to be a combined check. I want, and since Harmony under-rolled, I want either Fira or Virgil to give an Arcana check to add to Ezra's alchemy check.
Okay, now, Fira, are you proficient?
Arcana is 1.
Okay, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it.
All right, Ezra, alchemy check,
Yeah. What do I add for alchemy? I forgot.
intelligence, and proficiency.
22.
Holy shit.
Yay.
Yep.
Wow.
She knows how to mix
Rolled
the,
high.
you know,
I've done this
whatever the
before.
Powerpuff Girl recipe was. I forget it.
All right, Rickles,
Sugar, spice, and everything. 17.
Oh my god.
17. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a total of 39.
Am I still blessed?
Did we make some stuff? Yeah, am I blessed?
So between the two of you, you would essentially ascertain that typically if you're running an enchantment that involves transportation, you're going to need fairy aspect. which is typically derived from emeralds, or if somehow you can like extract the aspects of fey creatures.
That's fucked up.
I could,
It's like taking
You
their
would-
soul, I
wait,
guess.
like killing them?
Taking
Certain
them and
people,
squeezing them.
certain people have the ability to harvest the souls of creatures that are slain. It's actually something that witches are known to do.
We ran
You
into
have
a
to
bunch
kill
of
it.
fairies, right?
You
I
did.
could summon one right now.
But essentially, that's what you would need
You can summon
to.
fairies.
That
Can
would
we
be
do
like
that?
that would be
Yes.
like the ink to create the enchantment here.
Wait, that's really fun. So if Fira summons fairies and I kill them, I can trap their souls and get fairy aspect?
You have to kill them. You can't do something
You
else.
get the sense that it would not work like that.
Oh, we can't farm them like that? Okay.
Yes. Summon.
Okay.
Alternatively, you could also use Methallium.
Okay. Harmony,
Yeah.
we need a lot of fairy aspect. We have one. We have an emerald, which we can get fairy aspect from.
Oh.
Or methallium.
Would my key of 5% work?
You're what?
Is it made of methallium?
I don't know what
I
it's made out
could
of.
summon 8 sprites. Is that like a fairy
Oh,
thing?
come on, DM. She can summon some sprites.
Can't farm summoned creatures.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Alternatively, this would be really. You could also reverse engineer potions
I've done
to
that.
revert them back into the aspect that was used to create them.
How much, do I get the sense of how much fairy aspect we're gonna need?
Virgil would actually get a better idea of that as he did the Arcana check.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll ask Virgil.
well, I think it's about 3/4 of
Honestly,
a cup.
It depends on the enchanter. If you had like a master enchanter that was like 100% efficient, probably do it with like one standard unit of fairy aspect, but that's a hard ask. Because in reality, no one here is very familiar with enchanting. Your best guess is that a novice enchanter could take up to 5 or more.
I think I'm a novice enchanter. In the sense that I can make a non-magical weapon a magical weapon. But that's it.
Okay. Are you an
That's
enchanter?
all I can do.
Not really, but I'm going to spend this time just
Mastering enchanting.
studying the rest of these arcane sigils, and just trying to. I don't know how to read calculus, but I'm looking at it just like going, yes, I see. Just trying to take it all in.
Finding patterns.
Yeah.
Do I see any correlation with these runes and the runes on my glove?
So, really quick, you do not.
Okay,
Really quick, Harmony, how are you going about this?
Literally.
Like, what's your general approach? And by that, are you like trying to find patterns? Are you trying to use intuition? Are you trying to like brute force it in a way where you're like, fuck whatever the pattern is, like I'm doing it this way? Like what approach are you taking?
Yeah, I'm trying to find patterns. If I notice that there is a pattern as it goes around, if I can notice like what part of it is missing, but if it seems to be completely random, then I'm just brute forcing it.
Okay, so it sounds like starting with patterns, finishing with brute force.
It depends on if it looks like there's a pattern to it.
Okay. Start with an Arcana check.
Oh, that's good. 17.
17?
Oh wait, no. 19.
19? You definitely do. It's less of pattern recognition. Well, it's pattern recognition in the terms of you start to get the sense of the purpose of some of the runes to the point where you're like, okay, this one does this. There's some bullshit in the middle. I don't know what that does. And then this one also like is like a symbiotic with this one. So you're starting to get some patterns. As far as the other parts of it, there are some parts that you don't understand, and you're kind of like, you can at this point be like, well, fuck it, we can kind of try to do without that part, or just like kind of jury rig it my own way. Is that your approach, or?
I will take what I have learned, and I will go sit in a corner and just sit on it and prepare to go to bed.
Okay. So just kind of run it over in your head.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do about this right
I have
now.
a DM question.
Yeah.
If I were to, let's say, have some souls in my bag and I were to use legend lore to let Harmony use it on those runes, do I get the sense that that would work? Or is there anything totally off about that?
Legend lore gives you the lore of an object. It's not exactly something that gives you like the blueprint of like the arcane like architecture of an enchantment.
Okay.
It's like, makes me think of a joke. It's like you have a cleric, a warlock, and a sorcerer, and a druid. How many does it take to fix a light bulb? And the answer is none of them. The wizard does it with his left hand.
You know, on one hand, it's a light bulb. On the other hand, it's supposed to be calculus. I don't know.
For the wizard, it's a light bulb.
It's both.
Oh, okay.
For you guys, these are fucking differential equations.
Oh, God. I think that one's a 2. I don't know.
Okay. So you guys are taking a long rest?
Yeah.
I'm ready for a long rest.
Okay. I guess with that, we'll decide how to go about this potentially resource draining enchantment puzzle when we start up next session.
I think so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Plan?
All right,
guys.
Sounds like a plan, man.
All right.
It's like a door.
Man, we did not get anything done this session.
Simple doors.
I don't know about that.
Well, nothing super duper proactive.